Hi, Michael Green here from Microtech to talk to you about Excel sheet magic. So let's say you have a sheet inside a whole bunch of sheets and your boss says to you, can you send me that sheet? No problem. So here we have the Jan budget and it's on a sheet here called Jan. So all I have to do is come here to the Jan sheet and right click on the Jan sheet, click on it, right click. Here I can choose move or copy. Right here I'll go ahead and check create a copy, and where it says to book I'll click on the drop down and I'll choose new book. So I'm going to generate a new book that doesn't exist. Click on OK. And voila, I have a brand new book with just that sheet. Okay, if I'm on a PC, I can use the keyboard shortcut F12, function key F12. And that brings up my save as, and I can save it. And I can call it, let's say, budget. Right, click on save. That'll save it. Now, here's another sheet magic. If I click on the Jan sheet and click to hold, we'll get a sheet of paper. Hold the control key and I see a plus. And if I drag to the right, it'll make a copy. Right, that's a quick way of making a copy of a sheet. All right, that's the Jan sheet copied. Now I'll click on that sheet, right click, and I'll choose rename, and that'll be my Feb sheet. Hit enter. I'll right click, I'll click on Feb, hold the control, and there I'll do it again, drag across with the control, and there's my March sheet. Click, right click, rename, and there's my March sheet. And rename that March. Now I can go to each sheet independently, Feb, say Feb, change the name, Feb. Okay, click on March, change the name March, like that. And let's say the revenues are different. So there's Jan, and there's the revenue for Jan. Feb may be different, so I'll type in 200,000. And then March, say the revenue is different for March. Let's say that's 300,000. Now, what if I want to make changes that affect all three sheets? So I can do something called grouping of sheets. So grouping of sheets, you can either use the control key or the shift key. If I click on the Jan sheet and hold my control key down, I can independently click on sheets one at a time, February and March. Likewise, I can hold the control and ungroup the sheets. If I click on the Jan sheet and hold my shift key, I can click on the March to select all the sheets all at once, what's called a contiguous selection of sheets. Now if I make any changes, for instance, let's say I want to highlight the revenue, so I'll highlight the revenue here, go to Home, highlight the revenue. Let's say the other expenses happens to change from 2,000, let's say 5,000. So I'll make the change to 5,000. So you can see that affects the Jan, the Feb, and the March. All sheets are affected simultaneously because they're part of the group. And then I can click back on the Jan sheet, hold the shift key, and click on the March sheet. And I can also right click and I can go to tab color and I can change all the colors simultaneously. Let's say to green, so now they're all green sheets, changing them. If I want to protect the sheets, let's say I want to protect people from changing the content, I can click on the sheets independently. like right click on the Jan sheet and choose protect sheet, and I could deselect lock cells and unlock cells. I could put in a password, and reconfirm. Okay, and now I can't click on the sheet at all. It's like under a plate of glass, so I protected the sheet. I would do the same thing for the Feb sheet and the March sheet. If I needed to access the sheet, I would right click on the Jan sheet and I would unprotect the sheet, put in the password, and click on OK. Now, how do I prevent people, let's say, from deleting my sheets if I send somebody this file? Well, that would be done by going up here to the Review tab. On the Review tab, I have this option called Protect Workbook. So I protect the workbook, and I could also put in a password. Click on OK. If I protect the workbook, if somebody attempts to right-click on a sheet, see options like delete, rename, move copy are now unavailable to somebody. So they can't delete your sheets, they can't rename your sheets, you can't copy. That's something that I would recommend. And likewise, you could unprotect the workbook if you needed to manage those sheets again. I could also hide sheets as well. So I can click on February, hold my Shift key, click on March, and I can right click and I can hide the sheets. Now you don't see the sheets at all. Now you don't know you don't have any hidden sheets unless you right click and you choose unhide. And there's all your hidden sheets. And you could potentially select all of the sheets and OK. I use the Shift key there and click on OK to unhide the sheets. So by the way, when you right click, you can see all the different things that you can do to a sheet. Well, I hope you enjoyed Sheet Magic. I hope you find magic in your life as well. Thank you.